I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and this is Equal Entertainment. Ryan Seacrest is taking over for longtime Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak. Seacrest has signed a multi-year deal and will serve as a consulting producer. Sajak recently announced plans to retire in 2024 after 41 seasons at the wheel. He and co-host Vanna White are the longest-running hosts of any television show. Seacrest beat out others who were reportedly in the running, including Sherri Shepherd and former Dancing with the Stars host Tom Bergeron. The Hollywood Walk of Fame will be growing in 2024. Chadwick Boseman, Billie Jean King, Michelle Yeoh, Kerry Washington, Toni Braxton, Dr. Dre, and Sheryl Lee Ralph will all be inducted for their part in Hollywood history. The selection committee fielded hundreds of nominations and narrowed it down to 30 stars from various fields. Angela Bassett is finally getting an Oscar. The Academy is giving Bassett and comedy legend Mel Brooks honorary awards this year. The Board of Governors gives the award to people who have made lifetime contributions to the film industry. Bassett has 2 nominations to her name for Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress, but no statuettes just yet. The 96-year-old Brooks has a 1968 win for writing the screenplay for The Producers. Film editor Carol Littleton is also receiving an honorary Oscar. It might be a Barbie world this summer. Now fans have a chance to stay at Barbie's Malibu Dreamhouse with Ken as host. The stay would be free of charge, and yes, this is a real house in Malibu. It's the same dream house that Airbnb listed in 2019 for $60 a night in honor of the 60th anniversary of Barbie. Now, Ken is taking over the house, spelling his name with floats in the pool, and putting some of his own touches on the place. Airbnb teamed up with Warner Brothers for the promotion, and 2 winners will get an overnight stay ahead of the Barbie movie release, with 1 guest per winner. Starting July 17th, you can go to Airbnb.com to win one of the bookings. As a queer Black woman, musician Allison Russell has long used her platform to speak out for equality. I connected with Allison about her friendship with the one and only Brandi Carlile.
You just played one of the most historic concerts of all time, and you were also a part of the lead up to that, which was last summer at Newport. So could you please talk about being on stage with Joni Mitchell, Brandi Carlile, Annie Lennox, Sarah McLachlan, Sillies, Wendy and Lisa?
I have been trying, honestly, I've been trying to find the words for it. It was so moving. It was so inspiring. I mean, just the transcendence of the human spirit, and it was the most beautiful way to spend Pride I could ever imagine. And, they say, don't meet your heroes, but in this case, when it's Annie Lennox and Sarah McLachlan and Joni, absolutely meet them, because they're even better than you could have imagined. So yeah. And of course, Brandi is a hero, but also my chosen sister at this point, and family to me at this point. And because of Brandi, Ali Harnell at Live Nation Women and I have come up with BOB, the acronym, because of Brandi, because they're every bit of goodness that can be traced back to her and her amazing wife, Catherine, and the Looking Out Foundation, and all of the ways that they make music mean even more every day, including all this month raising money for the Trevor Project and matching funds, because Brandi doesn't ever just do something for herself. It's always raising the community up right along with her, opening doors, shattering through ceilings, making avenues and dreams possible that we didn't think were before.
The movie When We Arrive as Flowers explores the connection between artistic expression and self-discovery. It follows a New York-based trans Afro-Latinx dancer who realizes her trans femme identity. It's a film festival favorite, and I spoke with star Giovanna, director Susan O'Brien, and producer Alexandra Billings about telling this powerful story.
And Giovanna, would you please talk a little bit about how When We Arrive as Flowers came to be, and a little bit of, this is a story through dance, film and poetry, but would you share a little bit of the kind of plot of it, the story that unfolds?
Sure. I knew that I wanted to make a piece very early on into my transition, which is when this project was filmed. But I knew even before that I wanted to create a dance film about this very particular chapter in my life. It was something very special to me that I wanted to be able to look back on and remember. And the intersection of dance and film was something that I was really interested in for a very long time. And I've done before this my own films that I like produced and recorded, choreographed myself, but this was the first time where I had an idea, had the movement for it, could hear the music, but didn't necessarily see the flow of the film. And so needed someone else's eye to say, okay, I hear what you're saying. I see the movement. I see your ideas. Now here's the story of it. And so me and Susie reconnected.
And her words are just so visual on their own that I think the medium of film was a perfect way to showcase her story. And for us, we really were thinking very imaginatively and very boldly. And we kept on coming up with these different visuals of flowers coming out of somebody's mouth, and you know, her shrinking and being a part of the flowers, fully immersed in these flowers. And we're like, we can't film that. So unfortunately, the technology AI, I mean, it might be coming very soon, but we kind of looked to animation as something that could be a mixed media approach and also capture the surrealism elements that we were hoping for in this film. And really, it was the words that led us the whole entire time. Her beautiful, beautiful language. She just has such a gift.
This is a time of craven politicians scapegoating trans people. It's awful. The flip side of that is this beautiful film that celebrates authentic identity and being true to oneself, but also joy as a trans person.
I can't think of another community where joy is considered subversive. I mean,
Right.
it's always fascinating to me that people think that we're the sort of kings of tragedy, that our whole lives are built upon sadness and betrayal and manipulation and surgery and all of these things that tend to either make us negate who we were or hate who we're becoming. And what the film does is it embraces a whole idea. I can't believe this is radical. It's so funny to me, but an entire idea that trans people can be born of joy and live in joy, that all of us go through chaos, that if we are not an amalgamation of the terrible things that have happened to us, how can we live in the gifts?
Film has played festivals. And what's it been like for you to get feedback for people who identify with your story?
It means a lot. It means a lot in that, like I said, I made the film with many purposes in mind, but one of the primaries being to find a way that was authentic to my own voice, to bring some light just on who I am, who the girls are, who girls like me are, what we go through in the today and also where we come from. And so it means a lot, not only hearing it from other fellow trans women, trans femmes, non-binary people from the community, ballroom, saying like, either they can identify it, they were touched by it, or really just, and this is a big part of it, being able to simply make this film as a girl like me was a feat in and of itself.
If you're in search of a fresh start, what's the first place that comes to mind for a trip? In the upcoming movie Drive Away Dolls, that place is Tallahassee, Florida, and it looks like a wild ride.
I'm leaving town.
I am too. That was my plan. Where are you going?
Tallahassee, Florida.
To say that Drive Away Dolls has an all-star cast would be an understatement. It stars Margaret Qualley and Geraldine Viswanathan, who play besties searching for greener pastures after things don't go their way. They run into the likes of Coleman Domingo, Matt Damon, and Pedro Pascal on the road as they happen to have switched cars with the criminals by mistake. And Beanie Feldstein plays a cop, what more could you want? The lesbian comedy from Ethan Coen and Trisha Cook, who is queer, will be a trilogy, and the first part will hit theaters on September 22nd. You can watch the Advocate channel live by downloading our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. For the Advocate channel, I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and thank you for watching.